I'm Quinn. I love playing video games. But right now, I'm doing something I don't really love. I'm cleaning. Or should I say, I'm re-cleaning our family loft. I'm usually playing my favorite video game, Power Up Racers. But I'm grounded. No video games for a whole week. The truth is, I deserve to be grounded. You see, it all happened yesterday when my parents told me to pause my game and clean up because according to my dad, it was starting to look like a bunch of pigs had moved in. Which I wouldn't mind because pigs are so pink and literally so cute. But I know my dad was saying it was truly a mess in here. I really like playing video games and I don't like cleaning this loft. So I came up with a plan to clean as quickly as possible. What is this plan, you ask? Well, I figured I could just shove everything in the closet and be done in no time. It was tight, but everything fit inside the closet. And then I was able to jump right back into my games. Well, until my dad needed his snow boots. When he opened the door, everything fell right on top of him. The next thing I know, boom, grounded. Not only am I grounded for a whole week, but I also have to re-clean the loft the right way. You know, the crazy thing is that even though my parents were pretty upset by what I did, they said they still loved me. And it really got me thinking, is there anything I could do for them to stop loving me? My parents always say that God's love for us is bigger than they could ever love me. That blows my mind. How does God love me so much? Is there a limit to how much God loves me? When I have questions like this, I look in the Bible, because the Bible is God's true message to us about Himself. And this question reminds me of a book in the Bible called Judges. See, Judges were people chosen by God to help God's people, the Israelites, do the right thing. In this story, the Israelites kept disobeying God again and again and again. God could have just been like, game over, but He didn't. Let's see what happened. God loved His people. The leader of God's people, Joshua, had died. Without a strong leader, God's people, the Israelites, forgot about God and disobeyed Him. Nothing good ever happened when God's people disobeyed. God wanted His people to love and obey Him, so He gave them different leaders called judges. The judges would deliver God's people from their enemies and lead them to follow God. Othniel was the first judge. God was with Othniel, and Othniel led God's people to win against their enemies. The land was peaceful for many years, and then Othniel died. With no leader, the Israelites forgot about God again. They worshiped false gods instead of the one true God, and loved other things more than God. God was upset, but He still loved His people. He let an evil king come and capture the Israelites. When that happened, they would turn back to God and love Him. The Israelites served the king of Moab for 18 years. Okay, so God showed them how to love Him, and they did it. But then, without someone there to tell them what to do, they chose to sin, to do what they wanted instead of what God wanted. And when we sin against God, it makes God sad, because He loves us and wants us to do the right thing. So in this story, they were punished, not because God was mad at them, but because God loved them and wanted them to do the right thing. Okay, now back to our story. Then the Israelites remembered how good it had been when they loved and obeyed God. They cried out to Him, "Save us!" God loved His people, even though they chose to do what they thought was best instead of following what He said was best. God chose Ehud to save them and be the next judge to lead the people. They had peace in the land for 80 years. When Ehud died, God sent a third judge, Shamgar, to save them and lead them to love and follow God. God's love is greater than we could ever imagine. His love for us has no limits. The Israelites disobeyed God many times, But God never said, "That's it, I've had enough. I used to love you, but now I don't." Instead, God kept loving them. God sent judges who helped save the Israelites from their enemies and point them back to God. But God knew this was a temporary solution. The judges could not change the people's hearts. So, God sent His Son Jesus to change the people's hearts. When we trust in Jesus, God gives us new hearts. He forgives us and gives us the power to say no to sin and obey Him. And the best part is, we get to have a totally awesome friendship with God forever. No one can outlove God because God always loves us more. That's so cool! So the next time you think to yourself, is there a limit to how much God loves me? Just remember who Jesus is and what He has done for you. There's no limit to God's love for you. Alright, better get back to cleaning. Never forget, the real power-up is that God loves you more than you can ever imagine. See you later!